Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, Richard.
Hello, Jonathan. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, the 9th of July. I had to look at my notes then, ladies and gentlemen.
Shocking.
9th of July, 2018. Tis shocking. And we're live on Facebook. We are live on Facebook. If you're watching YouTube, it is a rerun. With me today, we have the wonderful Jonathan Beluzik, whose name I can sing from the highest bough of a tree. Beluzik!
It took you many weeks of practice and rehearsal, but we finally got there.
Yes,
we finally got there.
It did, because written down, it's a very hard thing, and yet when you know the sounding of it, you go, well, it's obvious.
Yes,
it's obvious.
Exactly. You just say balloon, drop the N, add a zik.
There we are, balloon zik, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Vobes show, and we're going to be talking merchandise in today's show with the very lovely Jonathan Beluzik, whose name now we all know and enjoy. And he is the artist who has recreated and rebranded, in terms of logos and images and that sort of thing, the Bald Explorer and soon to be the Vogue show.
Soon to be the Vogue show and the Bald Explorer group and everything that comes under the Bald umbrella.
There we go. So all Baldies, this is the man you need for all your artist stuff. So we are live, as I say. It's the beginning of the week. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm only now going to be doing, you may not know this actually, but I'm only going to be doing 3 shows a week, Monday, Wednesdays and Thursdays. So make the most of it. Don't forget to comment. We want to hear your comments.
Absolutely.
We want to read what you're saying. So let's see if there is anybody actually out there in the land of the Vobie Showbie.
Oh, there is.
And there is. So we got Nigel Sadler, Macintosh, Pam, we have Adrian Liggett. Hello, Adrian. We have Terence, we have Richard, we have Andy Joy, we have Steve, we have Glenn, we have Anne Osborne, we have loads of people, Mark Selwood, people, the lovely Julia. People are joining all the time. It's lovely to see you.
Andy Ash asked what was written on my hat. It's CFL, it's the Canadian Football League.
The Canadian Football League.
Almost as pointless as the American Football League.
So, and it's a very smart hat. Do you do a Canadian accent?
Yes. Will I? No.
Oh, right. Fair dues. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about merchandise, but before we get on to merchandise, as you know, any guest who comes into the show, we make sure is refreshed. The other thing that seems to be trending is that if a guest comes onto the show, they bring the refreshment, which is fantastic. Saves me having to worry.
He wouldn't let me in. I had to go to the shop.
Yeah.
Shocking.
So, Jonathan, what kind of refreshment have you got for the Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi?
I have bought with me for you and our great tasting pleasure my favourite ale, Blandford Flyer.
Blandford Flyer, there we go. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely delicious. It is made by the wonderful Badger Brewery down in Blandford in Dorset, and it is a rather refreshing ale spiced with ginger.
It's a real ale, isn't it?
A real ale.
It's a real ale.
Spiced with ginger.
None of your lager nonsense. We're not lager louts here, you know.
No.
Heavens to Murgatroyd.
Good Lord, no.
So, now, I haven't got a bottle opener in here, but...
Well, lucky to say that. Always carry a bottle opener.
Every Canadian comes comes prepared. You're not
my family are from Canada.
Oh, are they?
They actually, yes, I am partly Canadian.
Oh, okay. So you've got every right to wear the hat.
Absolutely.
So and did you get the hat in Canada?
My daughter got it for me when she visited my relatives over there. She came back with a Canadian Football League hat for me because she went to a Canadian Football League game.
So what are you going to bring back if you go to a Canadian football
thing?
You've opened the bottle, which is very nice. I have a glass, but you have something rather special to put yours in.
I must say that Blandford Flyer Ale tastes far more refreshing in a brand new Bald Explorer mug.
Whoa, look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Readily available today.
We are going to be launching our merchandise. Is
delicious.
It good? Oh, good.
It is really rather nice.
Maybe you could help me out.
I don't think you'll like it.
Oh, right, fair dues. Well, I'll be the judge of that if that's all the same.
That's absolutely fine.
So we are going to be launching merchandise today. It's a slightly complicated thing. We can't just send you off to purchase it in the normal way. There's a slight catch because we wanted to reduce the price of the merchandise to make it value for money.
We did indeed. I had a wonderful time trying to work out the best way to not only create but also sell the merchandise on behalf of you, for you, to your lovely viewers. And so we finally, I found a place that was too expensive, a place that was too complicated, and we finally settled on what we have now.
And we will go into that in a minute. So let's just try some of this. Now, this has as Andy Ash has already noticed, a nice head and a gingery buzz.
A very gingery buzz.
A gingery buzz. And yes, I'm getting that ginger. Now, I've had Badger ales before, ladies and gentlemen, and they are delicious, but I haven't had this one.
No.
And I do like I like the nose.
The nose is particularly pungent.
Oh, the nose. Only the nose knows what the nose knows. And let's see if the nose is as good as the garden hose.
Oh, that is good.
Down the hatchet. And the great... Oh, that is nice. The great thing about English ales... British ales, English ales, whatever you want to call it. In this weather, it's perfectly fine to have your English ale warm. You haven't got to have it ice cold, you know.
Oh, no.
11
Not
degrees.
Warm, room temperature.
Yeah,
I mean,
warm. When I say warm...
Don't go microwaving or anything silly like that.
I'm not saying heat it up. I'm not saying heat it up or make it too hot. But you don't need to have it iced down to minus degrees, no. Anything from sort of like cellar temperature upwards is fine, as far as I'm concerned.
Mark Selwood says, liquid refreshment tastes so much better from a Bold Explorer jug. You know what, Mark? You're absolutely correct.
So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. So,
yummy.
Maple syrup, says Richard Suggan. I'm not quite sure what maple... Does it look like maple syrup? Is that what you're saying? Glenn Johnson says, I need a Bold Explorer mug for my wine. You, sir?
Absolutely.
Will be able to purchase one. So let us talk about some of the merchandise, because before we show you what we're doing, let's just talk about the journey, shall we?
Yes.
Get people psyched up. That's what we like to... Psyched up. The journey.
Psyched up.
So as you know... people are saying, oh, why don't you get some merchandise, Richard? It'd be great to have a
let's
T-shirt.
have a T-shirt. It would be wonderful.
Or a mug, or a sticker, or a car bumper, or a car. Could we have the Porsche? I want the Porsche with the Bold Explorer on it. And, of course...
Bold Explorer on my alloy wheels would be wonderful.
That would be lovely. But, of course, so I keep saying, no, let's start simple. But... You're a designer, aren't you? And a man who's creative, who's got lots of ideas. So
it's all flowing around.
You came up with loads of ideas.
Never stops. It never stops. When I first found out, when I first got in cheeky contact with the Bold Explorer, and I sent off that little pagette of designs that you guys all saw that you very kindly posted on the page for us. Then the creative juices really started to flow, and I wouldn't sleep for days, and the computer was going, and the mouse was clicking, and designs were coming out, and I created just this. I think it was more sort of Mondrian, Picasso. There were bits of Van Gogh in there and Matisse. It was beautiful. The colourful, everything you needed. I got down to the very DNA of what the Bold Explorer was all about. I boiled it down. It was there. It was packaged. It was perfect. And I gave it to Richard. And what did you say, Richard?
I said, nice, but let's keep it simple.
That's exactly what he said.
Keep it simple, stupid is a slogan of well-known origin. Keep it simple, and most things should be. So, yes. Now, I thought when I said keep it simple, stupid, that you might take offence, but you didn't really, did you?
I didn't take offence at all. So so everything got stripped out, pared down. We got snipped, cut, teased, plucked. It got shaved. It got cropped.
There was a lot of work then. I would have just gone back to the drawing board and started again. But so, yes. So
very different. When you've created genius, it's very difficult to let that genius go.
Yes, I suppose you couldn't really ask Picasso to keep it simple, stupid, could you?
Absolutely not.
He is the
He would
genius.
have done something horrible.
So anyway, what we end up with, just show us the mug again. We end up with this logo, and it's gone through many different things. But actually...
It has.
A number of people... Hang on, let me just for our benefit,
we
can get... There we go, look. I'll just zoom in on this. If you hold it to...
Where are we going?
There we go, look at that.
Let's go there. Let's go there.
There it is. There. Look at that.
Now, this isn't entirely the finished article.
I was going to say...
This is prototype.
People were making comments about that particular thing, and there was something missing.
There we go.
And the reason was that at one time you put quite large eyebrows on, and it looked a bit wrong. People said don't like it with the eyebrows.
People were wrong, but that's fair enough.
We took the eyebrows off.
You're entitled to wrong opinions.
And then I thought, well, wait a minute. Maybe, let me just take the camera back a bit. Maybe the eyebrows should be right, because I thought there is something missing, but the eyebrows were too heavy. And my eyebrows aren't heavy.
No, not at all.
Oh, excuse me. And the other
quite compact and bijou.
It is. Oh, it is. The other interesting thing was that you said that actually that image is actually my head.
It is absolutely 100% you.
You traced... I don't remember you doing it. I must have been asleep at the time, but you came in with a big crayon.
I did.
A big red crayon, as it happened.
I did.
And traced all the way around my
and I held up like that, and I was like, just get a bit of the crown there, and the tops of the ears.
Yeah.
Bit of the glasses.
I don't remember. I must have been a snooze.
Bit of a brass rubbing went on as well. To get the texture.
I must have been completely inebriated that day. Anyway, the point is that is actually the real shape of my head, which is quite impressive, I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. The what do you call it? The research. I mean, could have easily just gone around an egghead, or
just draw a circle.
Just draw a circle with a compass.
But no, I thought as the selling point of view is the bald explorer. It is the bald head, and what better head to use than your very own?
Well, that's brilliant. So, but we still weren't 100% convinced that everything was there. So, now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you something. Hold on a minute. So, just hold up your mug again, and let me zoom in.
Where are we going?
We'll just
Let's go that way.
There
we go. Got to get this right.
So now watch, ladies and gentlemen, we do this
mug.
transition. You see the mug as was, but the mug that you'll be able to buy is that one.
There we go.
That one. So that's really cool. And I think that the eyebrows there, the thinner eyebrows, really do it. So I'd be interested in your comments on that. But this is going to be the final one. In due course, we may have different colours.
Oh, yes.
For the moment, ladies and gentlemen, though, red is the colour.
Red is the way forward. Red is go.
Red
in this instance.
Go. So, yeah, let's see if what people think about the eyebrows. Alex Whitlock says, if it's so well known... the origin of Keep It Simple. If it's so well known, what is the origin of Keep It Simple? I think it's an American sales thing, actually, Alex. I think in America, in things like Think and Grow Rich and by Napoleon Hill, which was a hit book, or it may have been Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, one of those sort of American self-help books.
I do know that American salesmen would have things written on their phones. So they would have smile when you dial written on your phone, because you can almost hear someone if they're happy, if they're smiling down the phone to you. Obviously, the old-fashioned ring dial phones.
Yeah, and also, well, if it's on Skype, because they'll
see
you.
They'll see you.
But also, if you're miserable, people can tell. If you're miserable and you're not smiling, you're not really going to do it. Anne Asburn says that she likes it. Linda Kane says it's much better. Judith Oakley says, yep, the thin eyebrows look good.
Steve Peelford, my daughter wants one. She's 5. Excellent
5.
taste, Steve. Excellent taste.
Kevin Hall says, I bet Julia gets a purple mug. Yes, there may be limited editions.
You never know.
Others.
You never know.
Emily says that I've been plucking my eyebrows again, which is untrue, actually. They're just getting thinner the older I get. Cynthia Walder says better with thin brows. Richard Suggett says it's looking good.
Looking good.
So that's
Thank you, Nugget.
So good stuff. Well, anyway, that is the one. So that's one of the items that we are making available. We have 3 items that we're making available, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to be limited edition. And the thing is, in order to operate this merchandise thing, there's no shop that you can go to buy it. You're going to buy it direct from the Bald Explorer, where I think the trust is held very, very carefully.
Where he creams off his 20% and goes on holiday to Mallorca.
The south of France, if you
South of France.
Yes, that'd be nice. No. There's no problem. That's why the prices are reasonably good, actually, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about one of the other products before we talk about the delivery method and everything else. So,
absolutely.
What other products have we been looking at? Because there's a whole host of things that we could do, including aprons.
There's aprons. There are bags. There are mobile phone cases. There are many things.
And what did I say again to you?
You went no to all of that.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, he said to me. Mm-hmm. I said, we can do mouse mats. No, he said. I said, mobile phone holders look good. No, he said.
No. Wallpaper.
I don't know
if they do wallpaper, but wallpaper would be cool, actually.
It would be amazing, wouldn't it?
It would be lovely, yeah. Do the studio in the Bald Explorer wallpaper. No. So, what have we gone for?
A T-shirt.
A bog standard, everyday, simple.
Men's and women's, not just one, but 2.
So let us show you the T-shirt. So what should we show first? The ladies' T-shirt?
Ladies first, I think.
So here we go. So this is the ladies' T-shirt in delightful colour to match the mug, red with the white logo. in a sort of small and discreet, but on your left breast.
Yes,
shall we say? If you don't want to say that, it's tough. We've already said it.
Well, that's where it is.
So that's where it is. Whereas the gents, of course, we wanted to differentiate between the two. So the gents have got this one. Now, it's in a sort of blue cut. Now, don't get put off, ladies and gentlemen, that one looks slimmer than the other. It's purely they're the photos.
It's simply the photos.
Yeah, it's simply what's been supplied to us by the company that do it. So the ladies actually are more fitted for ladies, and the men's are fitted for men.
Exactly.
So now they come in different sizes, but these are the colours. We're limiting the colours to what you see, because that's going to be the palette for the moment.
Because people start to get a bit picky, and they want all manner of.
It takes forever.
I want red, yellow, green, brown, scarlet, black, ochre, peach, ruby, olive. Do you do violet? Do you do fawn, lilac, gold, chocolate, mauve, and it goes on and on and on.
However, there isn't just one size.
There is not one size.
So tell us about the sizes.
So men's sizes go from small to double XL. So small, medium, large, extra large, and then 2X, and then double XL. And ladies go one size more, so extra small through to 2XL. So extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, 2 times extra large.
Now, I am assuming that these are standard measurements of garment in the UK.
For gentlemen, yes, but because I'm not a woman,
you can't say.
I can't say.
Now, we were hoping to have one here. It's on order, but it hasn't arrived.
It hasn't arrived.
However, Richard Suggett has also used the same company for his Veg Grower podcast, and he can vouch that he thinks the quality is pretty good. Richard, I would want to ask you, because I know you're out there watching, can you tell us what size that you've ordered and how you feel it fits you? Because my concern is that people will order a T-shirt without seeing it, without trying it on, and then find it's the wrong size, and then what do you do? So, Richard, what do you think to your size, and was it about right? I don't know what size you normally take, and so if you could just let us some information.
Oh, it says Richard Suggett normally takes 5 days to arrive. That probably sounds about right. So my T-shirt should be due in a couple of days then, hopefully.
Fantastic. But it's not going to quite work like that for you guys, because this is how it's going to operate. Because the company that we're using, as yet, their website does not yet offer a shop facility for our customers, i.e. you, to go and log on and just choose what you want, whatever and whatever. There are companies that do that, but they're considerably more expensive.
They are a lot more expensive. This was the 3rd or 4th option I was exploring, because I'd never made an online shop before. I'd never designed T-shirts before, so it was as much a baptism of fire for me as it was for you. So this, I found one that seemed great, prices seemed right, but the reviews were not so good. I then found another place that seemed to be too expensive, and the T-shirts were coming out of Germany, which isn't really what you want. And then I sort of, after a lot more research, and also very, very much thanks to Richard Suggett too, put me in touch with the company that we're using now, and the price seems to be good, and his T-shirt seems to be good too. Oh, and Julia, yes, you're absolutely correct. It was that reference, and I can name every single other colour.
Right, so Emily has already asked what are the prices. We'll get onto those, don't panic, in a moment. Let me just carry on with the delivery method. In order to make this work, what we have to do is take your order and your money, and then we go to the company, and we pay for all the T-shirts, and they will post them to you. So once we've taken your money and we've placed the order, they will do that. If there's a question of returns, you deal with them directly, and they will return. If the garment doesn't fit or there's something wrong with it, they will take it back, as long as it's unworn. I mean, obviously you can put it on.
You've got to try it on.
You've got to try it on. But if it's been worn for a day or anything like that, they won't take it.
Well, you go, I don't like that colour blue. Back it goes.
Yeah, so you've got to make a decision fairly quick, but you've got 14 days to do it. It's got to be in more or less the same condition it was when it's sent out, and they will take it back. They're a bit stringent because they've had to print it, basically. So just be aware of that, but you will deal with them. So
the prices.
Hang on. So what
Carry on.
So just the final bit is we will put a page up where you can order these, and I'll put the link up probably tomorrow. Haven't actually got the page organised yet, but we will. Don't panic. I know you're all excited. You want to order them now, but we've only just had a final communication on how this is operating, and so you will be able to pay for them using PayPal. That's the only method that we've got. But PayPal will allow you to use your card. So you go through PayPal. You order it, and then I order them on your behalf, and they get sent to you. However, there is a finite time. So we are saying that once we get this going, it'll be 2 weeks to make your decision. Don't worry that's just slowed down. That does sometimes. After 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, I will then order it, because not everybody will order it at once. So I need to sort of know that there's a cut-off point where that's it. That's the day we're going to order them. It's a limited edition. We then order it. So Sunday, the 22nd of July, will be the point when I actually go and sit down and order all the T-shirts. And then hopefully about 5 days after that, you'll receive them. So there is a 2-week window whilst you're thinking about it. Then there'll be the 5-week window whilst they print it and send it to you. But what are the prices? I know. What are the prices?
Are the prices indeed? Well, for the men's T-shirts, currently the price sits at the princely sum of £8.
£8.
£8. 8 whole pounds. 8 earth pounds.
And that's VAT and postage included.
That is postage included. It is. Hang on, remember this right. You can pay £1.50 more for Royal Mail First Class signed for. Otherwise, it is £8 all in for just standard Royal Mail First Class delivery.
Okay, so that's another button I've got.
That's another. Well, that's all on their side. If they want to add £1.50 extra for Royal Mail signed for. Otherwise, it is Royal Mail First Class posted.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know what Richard Suggett did. So maybe ask him. I know he's on there somewhere typing away. And the ladies' T-shirts, for reasons absolutely unknown, are £9.44.
So the ladies' T-shirts are slightly more than the men's.
I don't know why.
I guess because they're fitted, or there's
could possibly be
something.
Yeah.
And then the mugs.
The mugs are £10. Pretty good quality, as you can see. Lacquered, dishwasher safe, red inside. I mean, they're pretty sturdy. They're not
glad that didn't break.
Yes, that would be absolutely horrendous, wouldn't it? Really sturdy.
Nigel Sadler says bloody good value. Will mine come in time for going on the live show? Well, that's a good question, because the live show you're coming on, are you coming on the 27th? I think the order will go out on the 22nd, 23rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. It may not. I wouldn't bank on it.
No, I mean, obviously this is a company that ships to many, many, many hundreds of customers all over the country. So I guess when the orders come in, they hit the queue and make and filter their way through.
Richard Suggett says he used standard delivery, including the price. Richard has got a T-shirt from them. Now, Richard, what do you think of the quality? Because we haven't as yet got ours. We don't know what the quality is 100% like. We're going completely on your recommendation, really, Richard. But I know that this has been hanging about over my head.
Hello, Sarah Paul.
What are we going to do about the T-shirt? What are we going to do about T-shirts? When can we have them? When can we have them? So this is it. They're launching this week. I just got to get the page up so that you can actually order them and make the choices. So Richard Suggett says, my mug has been through the dishwasher many times and used for a few months now. What is it like? Is it okay?
We'll never know.
We'll never know. Can we got your signature? Says Nikki Jess. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Can you got your signature? Emily says, we obviously get paid more than Judith. I know that Steve Pilfold said they were too cheap. We're going to try them out, and then later on we will bring out some other stuff.
Yes,
but this is the very first. You may not want to.
There will be teething problems.
Yeah, so if you feel that it's too early to risk anything, we will do our best. But the key thing that I want to get over is, at the moment, is that if you order it, you deal with the end company, not us.
No.
Although it's me that will refund you because I've taken them. I think that's how it works. I can't remember how that works. Because, I've placed the order on your behalf.
You give the money to Mr. Vobes. Mr. Vobes gives the money to the company. The company send you the T-shirt.
But if the thing is, what I'm trying to mitigate is any errors and when things go wrong, because this is the thing that I haven't got time to muck about with it all. Because if you get a T-shirt and you go, oh, I don't like it, wasn't the quality I was expecting, it was too big, it's too small, it's the logo is fuzzy, or I'm not happy, or it doesn't, or any of those things, they will accept them back, but you have to tell them. But it's me that will refund you, because they will refund me to refund you. It's. I know it's complicated.
At the end of the day, no one will buy a T-shirt, and this entire show will be a complete waste of time.
But we just want to try and make, because one of the companies that would do all of it for you meant the T-shirts would be
such delicious beer out of such an amazing mug.
So one of the companies that we were going to deal with would do all of it for you,
yes.
But it was 25 quid for a T-shirt.
It was yes, it was.
And that just seemed to me I wouldn't expect anyone to buy it. So there we go. Anyway, what material is used for the T-shirts? I'm Richard Suggett. Do you know what the material is? It's not cotton wool. I'm assuming it's a mixture of...
Probably a cotton... But I mean, that is something that is on the website. So when we can post up the pictures on the Bald Explorer group, we can put price, sizes, material, the whole... We can put the whole lot.
And we can give them the name of the website that is running the thing, because you can go and have a look and see what you think of their stuff. So if you're interested, go to printpit.
Yes, printpit.co.uk.
Printpit.co.uk. You can check them out, have a look at their frequently asked questions, check out their prices, because we're not putting anything on top. There's absolutely nothing on top of this.
No, the price they sell it for is the price you're buying it for.
And you'll see that at the moment what they recommend is that if you set up your own account, you become their client and you're buying stuff on behalf of your clients through them, which is why we're doing it that way, and that's why it's priced. Print Pit in vinyl or screen printed?
I think I've seen Richard Suggett's T-shirt seems to be screen printed, Andy Joy. Definitely not vinyl.
So I don't know the difference of that myself.
The vinyl is like it's like a plastic material that they would lay on top of the T-shirt and then put a big heat pad down, so kind of you're sealing the vinyl material to the T-shirt.
Linda Kane is asking T-shirt material. We just sort of talked about that. Go to printpit.co.uk and have a look at the... I mean, there's loads and loads of things, but I don't want to make life complicated by having a whole load of stuff. So we're just taking those 3 items for you to have a look.
Emily Champion's very excited. So are we, Emily.
So anyway, so that's our merchandise. I'll make it as clear as I can when I get the page to order. So you can't do anything now. Yes. I'm sorry about that. We can't do anything. I've only just had this meeting with Jonathan. I've been out, as you know, quite busily filming and doing stuff, and we've been sorting out the logos, and we've decided we're going to launch it now, but you can't actually buy it now. We'll tell you when you can, as soon as that
won't
page
be long
is.
Though. Won't be long.
It won't be long. I've just got to set up a page with the right PayPal buttons, but with your help we can get this right.
Exactly.
Vinyl apparently lasts longer, so I don't know what vinyl is. It's obviously not a record.
It's like a plastic, a very thin plastic.
Oh, that's on. I know. That's actually on the thing.
So it's like a big transfer. So the vinyl would be, there's a big sheet of vinyl in various different colours, and it gets cut out into the shape, laid on top of the T-shirt. A big heat press comes down, sort of bonds the vinyl to the T-shirt material, and lo and behold. But I don't know if you put it through the wrong wash, it can get a bit crackly. It can kind of stick together.
So Andy Joy, you're quite right. Probably then it may last longer, and we may offer that down the line. But that's why we're just bunging out cheap. It's sort of disposable money, really. It's a risk that you take, and that at the end of the day, if your T-shirts cost you under a tenner, and it's a bit shitty, if it's a bit crappy. You can either send it back immediately, or you can go, do you know what? It's memorabilia from the show. I'll bung it in a frame, or I'll chuck it in the loft, or I'll do something else with it. If you're looking for something long-lasting and of mega quality, it's not going to be that. Not for £8.
No, exactly.
We're just trying to get something out. So if you don't, we don't make anything out of this.
No, I've done this completely gratis, as it were. There's no,
So
I'm not being paid. Richard's not being paid. I'm not creaming any money off the top.
No. So my point is, if you don't, you're not actually supporting the show financially by buying these things. So we're not going to benefit if you buy them or not. It's purely that we just wanted to have something. If you wanted to have something from the show,
of course.
So, don't think, if I don't buy a T-shirt, I won't be helping, because we don't get a penny from it. So it's as simple as that. Hope people don't think that Greg Wallace is the bald explorer instead of Richard. Why would they?
I've always thought that, actually. I thought you were Greg Wallace for a long time.
Oh well, I actually am not actually. So anyway, that's it. I'll give you. Hopefully by Wednesday we'll have everything set up, and that we can then say you can go and buy them, and we'll see how it happens. But that is, unless some magic something happens between now and then. That's the road we're going down. And as Jonathan, this was the only day he could come on the show.
Exactly.
We needed to do that. So anyway, we've done merchandise, ladies and gentlemen. What we will now do, ladies and gentlemen, change tack.
Change tack.
We will change tack and have a look in the gallery and see what people have been posting. For those of you who don't know, this is the Vobes show, but our sister programme, The Bald Explorer, has a Facebook page. It also has a Facebook group. And on the Facebook group, the group members post lots of pictures of places they've gone, whether it's landscape, it's heritage, or nature. That's usually our main sort of thing that the Bald Explorer stuff does. And as a result, people post loads of pictures. I grab half a dozen. In this case, the lovely Julia has done the selecting.
Thank you, Julia.
Which is marvellous, and we're just going to have a look and show you what they have done. If you're not a member of the group, then do go and check it out, because it is quite fun. So, let us, first of all, you know what to do with the dance, don't you?
I do indeed know what to do with the dance.
So, here is time to go into the gallery and see what people have been posting. And of course you can do the dance at home, you don't have to just watch us. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, we have here a moth, but this is not any ordinary moth. This is a net Turk. Well, this isn't a net Turk, that's not a net
I hope
Turk.
not.
That would
Looks
be
utterly terrifying.
It's a privet hawk moth found on a privet hedge. Bit weird because it doesn't look like the privet hedge, but
it doesn't look like a privet hedge, no.
But it is. That's the moth that has been found. She saw it. She got a camera out.
I have a horrible phobia of moths and don't want to see that up close.
Okay, well you needn't bother because it's going to disappear very shortly. Woo! So there it goes. Bong, gone. Emily Champion has been to Combe Wood. Yes, the house and garden at Combe Wood she's been. It's a nice looking one. I don't know whether that's real timber. It looks to me a little bit like fake timber. Maybe Emily can tell us the age and the place of that. But there's a series of pictures Emily has posted up in the group. Do check them out. All good fun. Now we're going out into outer space because Graham Whittington has been recording the position of the International Space Station. Now, when I first saw this, I thought this was a graph representing the new members that have joined the group.
Or a washing line at night.
Or a washing line, that's right, without many clothes on it, which is usually the best way.
Absolutely.
But actually not. It's a series of still pictures mapped into one, I suppose. What would you call it? Overexposures in the old days?
I think correct me if I'm wrong, but he probably took many photos and then sort of overlaid them in Photoshop, so you get a gradual moving position of the space of the
pretty straight line, isn't it?
It is a very straight line.
Yeah, so there we go. Anyway, moving on now swiftly, the lovely Julia has been with the very strange Bald Explorer and the lovely Claire Leach. You can look at Claire Leach. Her whole face, she's got this strange growth over her face. But I think that's actually she's looking the other way. I hope so.
Let's hope so, yes, indeed.
Claire Leach and I and Julia are peering at a tree, and I'm desperately trying to work out whether that tree is alive or just a tree. It looks like it could be reaching out any moment with its multiple of arms to grab us. I think it was an oak tree, I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, I was giving her some waffle about trees, which probably upset her. Now, let's have a look at the very smart and handsome young fella that is Mark Selwood. He is here at Redruth train station. And he's looking very smug with himself.
Looking good, Mark, looking good.
It's because he's been making some rather excellent videos.
I should hope so.
Inspired, of course, by the old Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi. One would hope so, anyway. Mark English, Mark with a Q, and myself have been out filming at Betchworth Castle, a castle whose name I couldn't remember in this morning's Naked Englishman podcast, which goes out to my patrons. Couldn't remember the name of it, but Mark English and I had made a video, and there is part of the ruins of this rather delightful fortified house, which is very good. Now, Matthew has been out driving tank. Well, I don't know if Matthew was actually driving the tanks. Now, you know something about this, don't you?
He could have been. Yeah, that's the that's the show in Capel, the Capel Military Vehicle Show, which is just...
is that the Capel that's near...
just north of Horsham.
North of Horsham, between Horsham and Dorking?
It is indeed, on the A24.
Gosh, where is that then? Because I go up the A24 quite a lot.
It is. It's been completely bypassed. So if you follow the A24 on the single track road, and then you get to the big roundabout, and it turns to the dual carriageway. If you don't go down the dual carriageway, if you take go to the right, you hit the Capel Road, hit the old A24 Capel
And so
Road.
this whole field and stuff is somewhere buried in there.
I believe it. Yes, I believe it
marvellous.
is. Fabulous picture.
It looks like you've had great fun, Matthew. Very thrilling. I did actually drive a tank once, by the way. I'll just interrupt this. Yeah, I did. I have driven a tank, an old wartime tank. There was I don't know whether they're still going, but when I ran the Vobes show podcast many years ago now, many years ago, before recording.
When I was young and you were even younger.
That's it. I was given the opportunity to drive a tank, and this was a tank, an old one, which had levers like this that
Fabulous.
you would... there we go, there's my arms.
That's it. To the left.
You didn't have a steering wheel. You would just do this, and then there were these pedals, and you could barely see out. Oh, actually, I seem to remember standing up to here. You had your head just poking about, and then the gun was here with the great long turret. And there was somebody else who was twiddling that to make it go around. We couldn't actually fire anything because that was illegal.
Shame.
It was illegal. But we were in a big field, and my lovely daughter was recording. As I was driving this, she was trying to narrate, commentate into the microphone, going, "Dad's just driving along round the field. He's turning left now. Oh no, he's run over a rabbit. He's bumped into the fence. Oh no, he's just squashed his car. Oh, we're on the A25 now. Oh my God, it's a nightmare." So it was a bit like that, really. But
she cried herself to sleep that night.
Oh yes,
nightmares for years. She's
never been the same since, which is why she's now going on a trip to New Zealand, which is very nice. Anyway, so that was that. Let's carry on. We've got a couple more to bung in. Robert Crosser up north, ladies and gentlemen. He has been to North Castle.
Fabulous, isn't it?
Howard family home. It's a fabulous castle. You can see they've just cut the lawn, which is very nice. Yep. Flying the Union Jack. I think that's the Union Jack. He's right up north near...
Obviously, no hosepipe band up north by the greenness of that lawn.
Oh, I know. Yes, that's right. So there we go. Well done, Robert. Thanks. Keep posting those. Meanwhile, Sharona Chapel has been visiting her mum in the town of Oxford. Now, I'm assuming that's Oxford.
That must be Oxford.
That must be. Unfortunately, the lettering has... wait a minute. I might be able to... Here we go. Yes, Oxford.
It is Oxford.
It is Oxford. I'm glad we did that because I can see the other part of the text for the next video. That's a very nice... I wonder what part of Oxford that is.
That looks very Venetian, doesn't it?
It does look Venetian.
Very Romeo and
Juliet. So do you think that is... Do you think she's in a punt going on the river?
I would... I've never been to Oxford, but I would hazard that quite possibly that could be the case.
Because there's a river that goes around that they all go punting on. It's called the Isis.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Full of terrorists. But they're...
Shocking.
Yes.
Shocking.
They're drinking cocktails and that sort of thing. They're not beheading anybody.
They're nice terrorists.
Yes. Or maybe they're tourists. Well, wait a minute. They must be tourists. Terrorists, yes.
Drinking Prosecco and eating prawn sandwiches.
And finally, ladies and gentlemen, in the gallery today, it's pleased to say Terry Wood has been to a World War II radar station between Goonhaven, the Goons, Goonhaven and Newquay in Devon.
Goonhaven's near Goonhilly, where all of the TV signals used to come in, didn't they, into Cornwall, into Goonhilly Down radar station. These huge radar dishes. I went there once many years ago.
Really?
And you could, it's kind of not much to kind of do, but you got a little tour around these enormous satellite dishes.
Is that like Goonhilly, like the Hilly Billy?
I think it's exactly like the Hilly Billy. I believe that's shut down now, and like TV comes in elsewhere. But that's where all communications used to come into the UK. I might be wrong. Someone will probably correct
Kevin
me.
Hall says that we are wrong. No, she isn't on the river in Oxford. The only reason I thought it was the river because the arc of that building was crossing, and I thought, oh, maybe the river went between the two things, but obviously you completely got that wrong. The lovely Julia says that wasn't a dig at anyone, by the way. I actually have learned that landscape works better for the image in most cases. Julia's obviously said something. The Goonies. The Goonies.
The Goonhillies or the Goonies. Who can say?
I can't say.
No.
That's a road with two colleges either side in Oxford. Oh, there we go. So it's very difficult. Let me just say, Julia does a marvellous job, and I have instructed Julia. People are still... And it doesn't matter, I can say this till I'm blue in the face. Am I blue in the face yet?
There is a slight tinge.
Blue in the face. Ladies and gentlemen, when you go out and take photographs, it would be handy. I know that your phone is set up like this and we all use it like this. But when you take photographs, please, 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 can you take your photographs in landscape mode? Because, especially if you're putting them on things like Facebook or submitting them to the show, because when they go like that, your laptop is that shape, your tablet is that shape,
your TV is that shape,
television is that shape, theatre is that shape, cinema is that shape, everything that you watch content on is that shape, except mobile phones.
And doors. Doors are that shape.
And doors, yes. Diana Dawes. She's probably that shape.
I don't think she's that shape anymore.
Well,
she's more that shape.
She's more decomposed shape, I should think. So please, can you do it that? Because when you do it that way, when you take a photograph that way, in order to get it onto the screen so it doesn't look just a tiny little
sliver.
I have to zoom into it so it fills the screen. So obviously you're going to lose...
doesn't like zooming.
You lose top and bottom, you see.
And we never want to lose top or bottom.
No, never want to lose your top and bottom. Heavens above. So, so Julia is absolutely right. She's trying to pick all the ones that are landscape as opposed to portrait. Richard Suggett tells me that his podcast is live. Now, that's a very interesting thing because in the Veg Grower podcast this week, Richard Suggett is interviewing the lovely Julia. Now, you may have noticed that Julia has got a video up on the Bald Explorer page and the Bald Explorer group called Julia's Kitchen Garden. And you may be aware that I've been helping her and Richard Suggett's been helping her with her kitchen garden, getting it all ready so that she can grow.
And I may or may not have been helping her in a...
And you may or may not be helping in a graphical sense in that same thing. Well, Richard Suggett has interviewed her for his podcast and is asking her about her wishes and her aims and the sort of things she likes to grow, which is a bit more detailed than the video that I did, where she's talking about her heritage plants and her heirloom plants.
Heirloom plants. Never heard of heirloom plants.
I know, it's interesting.
It's very interesting.
I always thought they would be plants handed down by your parents, but apparently
they're not. Your
prickly cactus is not the sort of thing that you can hand down.
And a cheese plant. Remember the big cheese plants with the big slits in the huge leaves, the big slits in them? No? Cheese plants.
Cheese plants.
My parents had a cheese plant. It was massive. Didn't grow cheese. Big leaves. Slits in the leaf. No? Is it just me? Yeah. Cheese plants. Someone on the chat. Cheese plants. Someone will know. Yes.
It's like mother-in-law's tongue. Doesn't actually grow mother-in-law's tongues. Although,
thank goodness.
Pretty blooming close, if you ask me. Nikki Jess says, got to ask Richard, can I say hello to everyone? Nikki Jess, you can say hello to everyone in one message. But don't go saying hello to everybody individually because it just takes up so much room. I'm so sorry. Steve Pilfold is banging on about what we've been banging on. Thank you, Steve. Just to remind you, he says, also, you need to set the picture settings in the camera to 16:9 Vice.
Judith Oakley says, yes, she knows cheese plants. Vindication!
Hang on, I'm still stuck on Vice. Sorry. Vice 4.3. I don't know what... Is that not 4.3? I don't know. Was that predictive
I think
text?
If we're getting into picture ratios, it's good.
Just landscape
into a box
is fine.
Of all manner of...
Swiss cheese plant.
It's a cheese plant. It was green.
Okay. Haven't seen a cheese plant since the 1970s.
Yes, that's when it was.
Oh, right.
Well, 80s as well.
Eggplant, says Steve Pilfold. Is that the same thing?
No, that's an aubergine, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an aubergine. It's what the Americans call an aubergine. Yes, we have cheese plants. They were massive. But what grew on them?
Nothing. They were just a big house plant with big leaves, with slots. As the leaves developed, they kind of
had holes in them.
Yeah, holes kind of developed, and they sort of split apart.
Oh, so like mouse cheese or mouse trap.
No, but the holes became slots. So rather than Swiss cheese holes, the holes ran the length, and out. So you kind of had these big sort of slots into the
slots to put your money in.
Yes or no,
depending on. Yes. Anyway, so there you go. Anyway, so that's that.
I know.
Marvellous. We know what we're talking about. People
exactly.
polish the
leaves.
Yes,
my mum polished. She did. My mum polished the leaves. It's absolutely right. She got out the pledge. Yes, Sue Blount. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Cheese plants.
She polished the leaves of her cheese plant.
Is it
an indoor plant?
Yes, a house plant. Big house plant. Cheese plant.
Okay.
I don't. It's probably not.
Lovely Julia, please.
Google it, Richard, says Linda.
Lovely Julia, please don't grow these cheese plants. Do people still grow them now?
I haven't seen a cheese plant in a house for a long time.
Maybe people have got taste suddenly.
Yeah, because my dad had a brown.
What was that revolving carpet thing called a something Susan?
Lazy Susan.
Lazy Susan. You don't see many of those these days.
My mum was called Susan. Can you imagine?
Yes, but they used to, all this, and
I know
these things from the 70s. They seem to be a
fondue parties.
Who goes to fondue parties?
I went to a fondue party with my parents in the 70s.
In the 70s, not recently.
Might have been the early 80s. I remember it. Horrendous.
Hang on, look, we got Waitrose. Waitrose do them. Hang on, I've got a link here.
Hello.
I can't see if I can open that link in a new tab just to see what that looks like.
So we look at cheese plants. Yes. Cheese plants, that's exactly what they are. That's it, with the slots in the leaves, you see. And the smaller leaves at the bottom, you see, have no holes. And then the holes develop.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm gonna
look at that.
All right.
Look at that.
Yes, I'm looking at it. I'm going to see if I can bring it into the show somehow. Hang on, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen.
This is it.
I've got to bring this.
Cheese plants.
Yes, all right. I'm just going to get...
And we were talking about T-shirts.
Yeah, we were talking about...
mugs.
Yes, keep your mouth shut just for a second. And I will bring in the cheese plant.
I must say, mugs are absolutely fantastic, aren't they?
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. This is what it looks like. That is your cheese plant. So there we are. Now we all know what we're talking about, and thank
cheese
God
plants.
for that. We got through it. Oh, blimey. It's an absolute outrageous. Okay, we've got 12 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. I've been out filming with Dumpman today. I haven't got any bits and bobs. But if you go to the Bald Explorer group page, I think I put a video up where we had the very good fortune to get onto a disused railway station that's a private house now. But we asked the lady if we could film there, and she was ever so thrilled. It will be in a forthcoming video. We also went into another tunnel in East Sussex, which was marvellous. It had an unusual twist to it. And we went to another station that we discovered that the clock on the clock tower was revolving around at an increased speed that you couldn't believe. And the reason was the clock worker was up there. And we managed to get...
Oh, fantastic.
Had a chat with him. Turns out that Dumpman knew him, and this clock worker, this clock restorer, had actually been in touch with Dumpman some years previously and bought a video from him so that he could see the inside workings of the clock, so he knew what to expect when he worked on the clock.
Amazing.
It's a complicated story, but anyway, so that's we've been making videos about disused railways, which is rather good. Now, in our last few minutes, I want to find out a little bit more about our guest, Jonathan Beluzic.
Yes.
A very easy name to say once you've rehearsed it.
It is a very easy name to say.
Tell us about your design. How did you get into it? Where did you go? What have you done with it? And give us the story chapter and verse.
Chapter and verse. So, going back, what are we looking at? 1998, 99, I was working on building sites, which was very exciting. I was an insulation technician.
What is an insulation technician?
I put insulation into walls, but not just any kind of insulation. It was made up of like mulched up phone books and things.
Was it? Oh, right.
Like a paper mache kind of. No, not spray foam. Not spray foam. Not those big rolls of that glass fibre stuff. But it was literally mulched up like books, paper.
So how would you put it in there?
It was either pumped in. There was a big hopper, like big thing like that, and it came in bales, like bales of hay. So you kind of just tipped a bale in, and these blades just chopped it all up, and it was either pumped it in kind of dry into cavities, or there would be a nozzle on the end with water firing, and it would go on like paper mache. So you would literally
So this is into new builds.
This is into new builds, brand new, and it was very expensive, but incredibly good at keeping heat out or heat in.
And was it inflammable?
No, not at all. You could hold a lump of it in your hand, like sort of a bit like that mug size in your hand like that. You put a blowtorch to it, and your hand would not burn at all.
Wow!
And it would not, and neither would it set alight.
Fantastic.
So that was back in 98, 99, and then a good friend of mine was working at the Metro newspaper in London, and he said, "You need to get out the building trade and come and work with me."
That's nice.
Doing newspaper graphics, and I'm like, I've never done that before. And he goes, "I will teach you." So for the next 10 years, I worked in London and eventually was the deputy graphics editor of the Metro newspaper, which it was a local London paper and now is a national paper. And so I did anything, maps, charts, anything that needed to be illustrated that wasn't a photo. So how things work, expedition maps, anything, cross sections of planes, of cars, anything, any illustration that a photo couldn't do justice, that was my job.
Wow.
And then 10 years later, I was utterly sick of London and the people in it and the building I worked in and the trains I travelled on and the people on the trains and the tube stations and the cars. And I'd had enough, and I left London and I went back to university and I did an art degree. As you do. So it's kind of a reverse. You really sort of did most people would do an art degree first, then go and try and get a job to do with it. Yes.
But you learned how to do it. So how did you find, this is interesting, I don't know whether it's interesting, and we're going to find out if it's interesting, but the question is interesting. How did you find then, having done the art and actually had real world experience of art, and then going and doing an art degree, did you find that you were worldly wise and some of these people?
I guess I was worldly wise when it came to certain things, because especially digital art, which was becoming a big thing back then, and so into using Illustrator and Photoshop programs, I know what I'm doing there.
And you've been in industry
doing it, but other than that, it was like going back to school again and having to, and it was great. I loved it. Brilliant.
And did you get the art degree?
I did, and I got a 2-1.
Oh,
very pleased.
I don't know what that means, but not having got
it's
anything.
like I guess if you're grading from A to D, it's a B.
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, because you got your first, 2-1, 2-2, third.
So what have you done with this degree now that you've got the degree?
I've continued to dabble in art. I've been still dabbling in my graphic design.
I think you'll find the correct answer was
dabbling.
I think
nothing.
No. The correct answer was design the Board Explorer logo.
I designed the Board Explorer logo.
Oh yes, really? Oh, there you go. There you are. Marvellous. He did all that work in real life.
15 years of work.
Then you went and got the degree and everything so that you could design absolutely the
It was as if, the planets aligned, the clouds parted, everything down.
The perfect storm.
Logo, Board Explorer logo. Amazing.
There it is, yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Wonderful.
So there we go. Emily Champion says, my teacher friend lives in Henfield and told me about the the railway lines even. Going back to the
There was a old railway line that ran through Henfield, wasn't there?
In fact, that's where Dumpman lives in Henfield. I was in Henfield earlier today, so there you go. Glenn Johnson says, that sounds like a cool job.
It was, and then it wasn't.
Yes, I suppose, you can do something for too long.
Yes.
Like record podcasts, make videos and things, and you can, get a bit jaded, can't you? And go, no, I don't know, I want to do something different. Like make more videos and more podcasts or do live shows even. Nigel Sanders says that's a great story, John.
Yes, thank you very much, Nigel.
There we are. It's always doing. Andy Ash says my daughter is doing a Masters in Fine Art.
Ooh, so now my degree was Fine Art.
Oh right. So what is the difference between fine art and sort of rough shoddy art?
You can. It's. I mean, I think each university does.
What is fine art?
Fine art. Well, it is.
Define fine art.
I guess it is art as we know it now. So. We're looking at sculpture, textiles, painting, drawing. So everything from Marcel Duchamp and his toilet. See, I could go into Marcel Duchamp and his toilet and his urinal, which was your first probably ever piece of conceptual art, right the way through.
And wait. So are you saying he designed the urinal?
So let's have a quick story about art history. So Marcel Duchamp was an artist, and back in Paris in the early 1900s, there was a big art show where they said, bring in a piece of art, you can bring in whatever you like, and we'll exhibit it. And Marcel Duchamp went, I've got an idea. He went to a urinal shop, bought a gentleman's urinal off the shelf.
So he hadn't drawn...
made it. No, he bought it. He bought an urinal such you find on a wall in a loo.
Yeah.
Turned it on its side, signed it with a fake name, and submitted it as a piece of art. And the art establishment went, oh, what have you done? Oh, good grief! We didn't know what to do. For the first week it was hidden. They didn't know what to do.
Well, clearly it wasn't art, was it?
Or was it?
Well, no. What I'm asking you, wasn't it? It wasn't art. If he'd gone into a shop and bought something that was manufactured, then the person who designed that was the artist, surely.
But the this is where the wonderful debate of art comes on. It was.
I don't know. This is a wonderful debate.
Marcel Duchamp was an artist,
right?
And this art show said,
bring whatever you like.
Bring a piece of art.
Presumably they meant bring your own art, though, didn't they?
But it's like Anish Kapoor. Anish Kapoor, wonderful artist, designed that huge, wonderful red towering structure at the Olympic Park. It's got a slide. You can slide down it now. It's an amazing sculpture.
A helter-skelter.
It was a big viewing platform for when the Olympics were in 2012.
Right.
It is now an enormous helter-skelter. Anish Kapoor didn't build that.
Did she draw it?
He designed it, and construction workers and metal fabricators and builders built it.
Yes.
But he didn't build it because he couldn't build it because it's a huge, vast thing. So
yes.
But the idea was his.
Right. I wish we'd started on this because I could debate with you on this. Because
I'm absolutely right.
This is what is art? It's a big question. Definitely a wonderful debate. Exactly. Thank you. Paul.
Here's one for you.
Because so far I'm not convinced any of that was art.
Describe art in one word.
Art.
One word.
That was one word. Art.
Another word.
A different word.
What would you say art is in one word?
No idea.
That's 2 words.
Well, I know it's 2 words because you've restricted me to 1 word. I don't know how I would describe it. I know. So what would you describe it?
Communication. Ask me why.
No.
Okay.
No, because you see, that's not a good argument because you are defining how we then debate the subject by saying define it this way and then here's the answer and then ask me why, and all you've done is define how you want to tell me that art is, but that may not be what art is.
Well, exactly. Art is
or any subject.
Art is joyously subjective. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
Is it really all of that, or is it just a con? Is it really the fact that this bloke couldn't actually design a thing or come up with any idea? So he got somebody's designed this glass and he's gone, oh no, I'll turn it on its side, write a fake name on it and send it in. And if the fools are stupid enough to go, oh, it's a lovely piece of art, oh, it's nice. I remember listening to a Radio 4...
Malcolm Glazer says imagination. Yep, it's good. Visual Graham Wigton says visual. Emily Champion says expression. This is excellent. These are fantastic.
Yes, but this is they're not really defining anything, are they? Because you could define anything then that way.
Or describe. I mean, but it's it's boiling down a big thing in such a simple thing. I think communication is a great way of defining.
Okay, so here's the thing. Before we run out of time, which we're probably running out any second.
I know.
On BBC Radio 4, some time ago, somebody was investigating art. What is art? And they were talking to this art critic who said, "Oh, well, art is this and art is that," and she was trying to, art is whatever an artist says is art. Is basically what she said. So he said, "Okay, here's a piece of paper. I've crunched it up and I'm going to put it on the plinth."
Martin Creed did that. Sold it for £1,000 each.
Shush. So this is art, and she said, "No, it's not art." He said, "Well, how can?" He said, "Well, if Damien Hirst had done it, it would be art."
Martin Creed did do it.
Or Martin, whoever.
Creed, it was £1,000.
Just shut up for a second. Okay. So she said,
"All the Explorer mugs are fantastic, aren't they?"
Will you just be quiet for one moment? Let me get this point
out. Absolutely.
So there was this piece of paper that was said, and she said, because an artist has said it's art, but because the interviewer said, well, I'm going to do it, she said, no, you can't, because you're not an artist. He said, well, how do you know? I'm now going to call myself an artist. I'm going to start, this is my first piece of work. And she said, no, because you haven't dedicated your life to being an art. And I just thought, this just shows you what a load of absolute crap it is. Whereas, get Constable in, he can draw a proper picture, and I can hang it or paint.
Turner was a genius.
Yes, or Turner can do all that. Now, they're artists. They're people who can do it. But somebody who can just go like this and put it up for £10,000, more fool the people who are buying it, I say. More fool them.
I think this is a subject for another Vobe show, don't you?
It is.
We can really go places on this.
Well, we can't, because you'll say all those other things are art, like the urinal on its side, and Tracy What's-Her-Face's unmade bed, which is absolute disgrace that anyone would possibly call that artistic, and the fact that they should have made any money out of it is absolutely ridiculous.
It's that's fine. And the thing is, and the best thing is, your opinion is completely valid. It's wonderful. Well, that's the best thing.
My opinion is irrelevant.
No, it's not irrelevant at all, because the art and the viewer. This is a piece of art theory called phenomenology. It's phenomenology.
Who is it invented by, this theory? Probably by bloody art critics.
Maurice Merleau-Ponty.
Why have they all got stupid names?
Because
They're all bloody foreign.
Because he was French or Belgian.
Oh, well, there we are. They're all mad anyway.
So the art, the art, the piece of artwork, and the viewer, are essentially the same thing, like two halves of an orange.
Right.
So so what you are imparting, upon the art, validates that piece of.
So is this art? Or is that just design?
We'll never know.
No, well, I'm asking you. You can't say you can't say, oh, art is all these things, and then when I say, is this art? Well, we'll never know. That's too dismissive. You've just clarified a whole load of stuff which clearly shouldn't be art, in my opinion, and then you've said it is art. And now I'm asking you, is this? And you're going, oh, well, we'll never know. Well, is it art?
The designer who designed that label would have said, yes, that is art. Yes, I mean, it is a piece of art.
I'm talking about the bottle and the label and everything. Is it a piece of art? Can I go and say, do you know what, this is a piece of art, it's £25,000?
Yes, well, if you made it, then yes, you could.
No, wait a minute, that bloke that you started with, this urinal, whatever his name was...
Marcel Duchamp.
Marcel Duchamp, or whatever it is. I mean, he didn't make the urinal. He just shoved it on his side.
Yes, this debate does need to go on the VAR, Terence. Thank you very much.
What does the VAR stand for?
It's something to do with football.
Value-added tax.
Yes, I've no idea.
So, but what...
There's a football match on apparently in the next couple of days.
Well, who cares? So tell me, is it art if I didn't make it? Because you're Marcel Duchamp... or whatever his name, Marceau. No, that was a French thing.
If you conceived an idea, and you worked through all the processes.
Yeah, but your bloke didn't.
No, Marcel Duchamp absolutely did conceive the idea.
What, he just put it on its side and wrote on it?
But it was his idea. He went okay. So what this art exhibition is going on? Is saying if you an artist bring in a piece of artwork, we will display it. He went, all right, establishment. Have that.
Yeah, but are you not taking it away from the bloke who's done this? Bloke who's done this, Julia says, yes, it's been designed and crafted, has it not? Yes, exactly.
It's a bottle.
It's a bottle. Somebody's designed the bottle, someone's designed the label, and someone's put it all together. So, yes, so from their point of view, it is art.
There are some fabulous artists out there making bespoke bottles. And Mark Selwood says it is art. And so, yes, Mark.
And wait, let me
love it, says Andy Ash. And this is great, says Emily.
And so, will you?
And
another thing. So there's this poor little craftsman who designs his urinal. That is a bit of art because he's designed it and he's spent time and he's got the curves right and he's done. And then your other fraud has come in and gone, I've conceived this idea. I'll nick this whole thing. I'll write a fake name on it and I'll submit it as a piece of art. Yeah. And suddenly he's saying that is worth more than the bloke who's probably spent ages working out whatever the circumference of this is and the radius of this.
What you've got to remember was at that period in history, up until Picasso started playing with Cubism in about 1917, art was unbelievably figurative. So what you saw was what you painted. What you saw was what you sculpted. What you saw was what you drew. So that's how art was. It was you would try and draw the best, paint the best landscape you could, draw the best ship you could, paint the best house you could. So then conceptual art happened. Then Picasso, Picasso started working on cubism. I mean, cubism is wonderful. It's basically putting every single element of an object on the canvas all at the same time in pretty much all in the same place. And that changed, and then you from that you had abstraction and abstract expressionism and futurism, and it all spun out of cubism, and it's wonderful, and that is why now we no longer have to paint the best vase of flowers or the best landscape anymore. You can do, and that's great, but.
So what you're saying, all of this meant that anybody with no skill, no talent whatsoever can just go, I'll do this, won't I, mate? That's art, isn't it? You know, I'll get up. No, I won't make my bed. I'll chuck a few condoms on. I'll ruffle the sheets. It's art, isn't it? It's art, love. I don't need to study. I don't need to learn anything. I don't need to craft anything. I don't need to prove my skills. I don't have to be better than anybody. I've just got to come up with some stupid... Here, look, a new hat. It's art, isn't it? It's art. It's lovely. It's a bit of art.
I must apologise for my learned friend, ladies and gentlemen.
Here's a bit more art. Look, I'll give you some art. These are matches. Look,
yes. Emily Champion says we're over time.
It's art. You know,
I think
come up with a new idea. It's art. It's art. Oh, me art. I'm having an art attack. Is it art? Is it art? Oh, bum bum. Oh, bum bum.
You can tell he was on TV, can't you?
Dear.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God. Whew. Well, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen.
And on that bombshell.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think art, it just shows to show that everything is going
glorious.
Down the plug hole. Down the plug hole. If people can do that, people do not need any skills or any craft anymore, because they can just go, it's a bit of art, isn't it? You know, I want 100,000, it's about art. Oh, lovely. Art. On that note, ladies and gentlemen.
Art.
It all seems a bit far-fetched, but it's always good fun to have an artist on the show who we can, at least, ladies and gentlemen, the Bald Explorer, you know, that, I would say, is a bit of art. You haven't gone and got some piss pot and turned it on its side and put a fake name on it. The Bald Explorer is not a fake name, by the way. Anyway.
It technically is a fake name.
Technically, it might not be.
Because your name's Richard, and your surname's not even Vobes. Just saying.
When you hear this music, you know I'm going to throttle him as soon as the camera stops.
I'm running out the room immediately. And on that bombshell, wallet, keys.
Thank you, Jonathan, for being on the show and livening it all up.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Your Honour.
It's been lovely talking to you. Now, get out.
Going. Ta-ra!
Take care, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you on Wednesday. Wednesday's the next show. Until then, I hope to have all the new art stuff on. I'll be selling handkerchiefs I've blown my nose on. I'll be selling pants that I've wiped my bum on. And socks that I've got little holes in the end on. It's all good, and it will be artistic. Yes, not autistic, artistic. Till then, goodbye. Goodbye.